Tonight from our I-Team on nurse registries. They are businesses that provide nurses to give in-home care for disabled clients. They do background checks, they make schedules, they pay nurses and accept payments. But I-Team investigative reporter Adam Walser discovered that if something does go wrong, those companies are actually not liable under Florida law.
I had a spinal cord injury from a jet ski accident in 2002.
Christy of Orange Park has been paralyzed from the chest down for more than half her life.
I've always had to be dependent on people since my injury, and you want to be able to know that you can trust the people that are there to help you.
Christy and her family hired a nurse from River City Home Health to help her with daily living tasks.
Them being an agency, we felt that they had the resources, they had the people.
The company is what's characterized as a licensed nurse registry, which refers nurses to clients, arranges their schedules, and pays the nurses. Medicaid compensated the company for Christy's care, but she no longer uses River City Home Health after a terrifying incident in January.
I have anxiety coming out of the van.
According to a lawsuit, Christy's nurse left her unattended after driving her home from a doctor's appointment.
She unstrapped me from the van and then had walked away inside.
She's setting up when she's tilted back to be able to come down a ramp. She couldn't see it not down.
The ramp did not deploy and had drove straight out, falling face first with my chair on top of me.
Christy called her dad, a contractor who rushed from a project he was working on across town.
First thing when I pulled up, I seen the wheelchair still laying on the ground outside.
That had to be very upsetting.
Yep.
Heavy chair, right?
Very heavy, about 400 pounds.
The complaint says the nurse failed to provide reasonable care or alert authorities after Christy fell. A handwritten report from the nurse said, quote, Christy was laughing a lot. Says she couldn't believe she had done that without looking first.
You have a nurse there so that if there is a medical event, you got help like that is licensed qualified care.
Instead, the nurse got a blanket from the patio. Quote, I put a blanket under Christy and pulled her in the house, she wrote. According to the complaint, the nurse dragged her through the yard and the house into the bedroom, where she used a lift to hoist Christy into bed.
102 feet?
Yeah.
From here to there?
Yeah.
And that's how far you got dragged?
Mm-hmm.
Both legs were broke, left arm was fractured.
If you've got broken bones, dragging somebody
She
can't be good.
Even just without them, I mean, I wouldn't want to be dragged across my threshold and the tile, and it would hurt.
The complaint says the nurse left as Christy's condition was deteriorating.
Her eyes rolled in her head, and at that point I called 911.
Christy was taken to Orange Park Medical Center.
Did you lose her at any point?
No.
She flatlined.
Yep, she'd quit breathing.
Medical records show Christy suffered a head injury and spent 2 weeks in a coma.
The whole time, excuse me, they said, don't expect a whole lot. It didn't look good.
Miraculously, she pulled through.
I love you, baby.
I remember when I had first came out of the coma, them kind of telling me everything that happened and showing me pictures and everything, and it was all very surreal.
We're out of the room.
Christy spent 6 weeks in the hospital and months in rehab. Medical bills are still arriving.
It's hundreds of thousands of dollars, at least what we've gotten so far.
Gower filed a lawsuit against the nurse and River City Home Health, alleging negligence. In response, River City Home Health's attorney filed a motion to dismiss, saying the company wasn't liable since it is a nurse registry. A Florida law passed in 2014 defines nurses working for nurse registries as independent contractors. It exempts them from management of and liability for those contractors.
They should be held accountable.
You can't even have a car without insurance, so how do you run a licensed business for health care without taking and being responsible for what you do?
Currently, there are 1,173 nurse registries licensed in Florida, including 178 in the Tampa Bay area. The I-Team has identified lawsuits against nurse registries in Hillsborough, Palm Beach, and Broward counties.
Sure enough, those cases had been thrown out after the judge had determined, yeah, this is a nurse registry.
We emailed River City Home Health's owner, but she didn't respond. We went by their office where the door was locked, lights were off, and no one answered. The judge in Christy's lawsuit denied River City Home Health's motion to dismiss, so the lawsuit will move forward. Recently, the U.S. Department of Labor found a Sarasota nurse registry company, quote, misclassified caregivers as independent contractors in a case involving payment of overtime. Gower believes that might open the door to a different interpretation of the law, which would allow these companies to be held accountable in cases where clients were injured. In the meantime, he says, we're all paying the price.
If anything happens, it's not the nursing registries who are going to pay for it. It's going to be the taxpayers. It's going to be Florida citizens.
I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan, taking action for you.